a chroeso fel hybrid meeting of Statutory Licensing Subcommittee on Wednesday, the 12th of November 2025. I'm Councillor Anthony John Richards. I will be chairing today's meeting, and just to make you aware that today's meeting will be recorded. So can you please ensure that your phones are switched to silent for the duration of the meeting. Agenda item 2 are declarations of interest. What we'll do before we go through declarations, if we do an introduction to everyone in the room, and then we'll be able to see whether or not there are any declarations of interest. So as I said, I'm Councillor Anthony John Richards, the chair of the committee, and I will pass to Nadine first, and we'll go around the room in that way, in that order.
Great, thank you, Chair. I'm Nadine Jones, and I'm Democratic Services Officer.
Matthew Tucker, I'm Democratic Services Officer.
I'm Alexander, I'm the applicant.
I'm Howard Lawrence, Alex partner.
Matthew Greenwich, I'm a lawyer with legal services for the council.
Yes, good morning. Good morning all. Mike Shaw, I'm principal solicitor with Neath, Talbot.
Morning all. I'm Catherine Cody, a legal regulatory officer for Neath, Talbot Council.
I'm Suzanne Patterson, member of the subcommittee.
James Henton, vice chair of the committee.
Wonderful, thank you all. Are there any declarations of interest?
I see no declarations, Chair.
Great, so we'll move on then to agenda item 3. And agenda item 3 is on pages 3 to 19 of the circulated report pack and is here for decision. So Miss Cody, would you please introduce the report?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Good morning, members. Good morning, all. Agenda item 4 is an application for a new premises licence, 7 High Street, Carmarthen, Talbot. The applicant, Mr. Alexander Handley, will also be the designated premises supervisor. Members will note from the report that the application is to permit sale of alcohol off the premises only between the hours of 9 to 6 p.m. Monday to Sunday. The application resulted in representations from South Wales Police and Legal Regulatory Officer, being the licensing officer, who requested additional conditions to be attached to the licence. The applicant has agreed to the imposition of the conditions set out in Appendix 1 and 2 of the report. In addition, members will note that the representation from a local resident, Mr. and Mrs. Webley, living in close proximity of the premises, was also received and is attached at Appendix 3 of the report. The residents were unable to attend the meeting. However, members are reminded that their written representations need to be considered in full within the hearing today. And members are also reminded that only information that relates to one of the 4 licensable objectives can be considered relevant. The recommendation today is that the application is determined after hearing and considering all oral and written submissions. Thank you, Chair.
Great, diolch yn fawr. Thank you, Miss Cody. Do we have any questions for Miss Cody in relation to the report only?
Not a President. Mr. Chair, forgive me for interrupting. Given that the regulatory or the responsible bodies aren't present, but they've made their submissions, and also we have the objection raised by Mr. and Mrs. Webley, would you be happy to hear our legal regulatory officer read those representations to the committee? Those are the representations from the police and from the licensing authority. And if Cass does that, I'll read out the objections raised by Mr. and Mr. Webley, if that's okay.
Yes, well, in accordance with the procedure for today, there will be an opportunity for all parties to make a statement, and as I said, we will allow that so that you could read those out. That would be great. Once statements have all been made, there will be an opportunity for for questions. Of course, the people who are not here won't be able to answer those questions. So what we'll do now then, once we've if we can take those statements.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I'll start with Nick Bailey's South Wales Police Licensing Officers representations first. If I turn your attention to page 9 of the report, I'll start with Nick Bailey's. So in relation to the application for the premises licence and the Licensing Act 2003, that the below referred licensed premises. Name yet to be confirmed, however, the address is 7 High Street, Carmarthen, Talbot, SA12 9PH. The applicant states that it is for a premises licence for the supply of alcohol on the premises only between the following times. Supply of alcohol off sales only 9 till 6 p.m. daily. Hours open to the public 9 till 6 p.m. daily also. The application is submitted by Alexander Hanley for the grant and premises licence to provide the above licensable activities between the times specified for a yet unnamed premises in Carmarthen High Street. The supply of alcohol would be for consumption of the premises and has been adjusted following local representations. The premises is situated in the village of Carmarthen in a row of terraced commercial premises as shown below, and the photographs as stated. The operating and licensable hours applied for are not excessive, and it is not anticipated that they will have too much of an impact on the local community. I would also ask that the following amendments be made to the conditions suggested in the operating schedule contained within the application, that the following condition relating to staff training be amended to read as follows. All staff involved in the sale of alcohol will be trained before making any sale of alcohol. Training will include the obligations and responsibilities under the Licensing Act 2003, including the prevention of sales of alcohol to underage persons, proxy sales, sales of alcohol to drunks, and the Challenge 25 scheme. All training will be recorded either written or electronic format and made available for inspection by the police or any authorised officers from the council upon request. The conditions stated in public safety section relating to recording incidents at the premises to be amended to read. An incident recording book should be maintained, detailing the date and time of any assaults, injuries, accidents, staff interventions or ejections. It shall include the names of staff involved, the nature of the incident and the outcome. This log must be available for inspection by the police and authorised local authority officers. That the following condition be added. A refusals record should be maintained, documenting the date and time of all attempted alcohol purchases by persons under 18, as well as any other refused sales. This record should be made available for inspection by the police or authorised officers of the local authority upon request. That the conditions relating to the age verification policy be amended to read as follows. A Challenge 25 should be implemented. Proof of age would be required from anyone who appears to be under 25 and attempts to purchase or consume alcohol. Acceptable forms of ID must include a photograph, date of birth or a holographic mark, and are limited to pass accredited proof of age cards, e.g. the citizen's card, proof GB, which is an abbreviation of the above, photo card, driving licence or passport. As there have been concerns raised by local residents, I would request the following condition to be added. Provide prominent signs throughout the premises and at all exits requesting patrons to leave in a quiet and orderly manner so as to minimise impact on nearby residents. I believe that the amendments I have proposed are proportionate and in line with other licensed premises in the borough and will assist in the promotion of the licensing objectives. The application also proposes that Alexander Hanley be installed as the DPS, and there are no objections to this request. The above information is submitted for your information and considering your sincerely Nick Bailey, Police Licensing Officer. I move on to the next representation received from the Legal Regulatory Officer. That's on page 13 of the report. This application was previously submitted on the 22nd of August 2025. However, due to an issue with the newspaper notice, it was necessary to reapply and restart the process. The original application proposed different operating hours compared to what is now being applied for. I am happy with the revised hours as they reflect the proposals I made in my original representations. The current application seeks to supply alcohol for consumption off the premises only with the following hours. Sale of alcohol, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Opening hours, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. My previous representations also included a number of proposed conditions, which the applicant had agreed to. I therefore submit these conditions for consideration, resubmit these conditions for consideration, as they would assist in promoting the licensable objectives. 1. The Challenge 25 policy shall be operated on the premises. Staff selling alcohol shall request that any customer who looks under 25 years old and who is attempting to purchase or consume alcohol provides valid photographic identification proving that they are at least 18 years old. The only acceptable forms of identification are recognised photographic identification cards, which bears their photograph, date of birth, and holographic mark, such as any proof of age card with a pass hologram citizen's card, proof GB, which again is an abbreviation to the above, photographic driving licence or passport. Point 2, clearly legible signs shall be prominently displayed where they can easily be seen and read by customers, stating to the effect that the Challenge 25 policy is in operation at the premises. The customers may be asked to provide proof of age and what the acceptable terms of proof of age are. The signage should be kept free from obstructions at all time. Point 3, all staff that undertake the sale and supply of alcohol on the premises should receive full training pertinent to the Licensing Act 2003, specifically in regard to the age-restricted sales. Challenge 25 policy and the refusal of sales to persons believed to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs before they are allowed to sell or supply any alcohol to the public at the premises or during deliveries. Refresher training would be carried out every 6 months for all staff and documented within their training record book. Point 4, a training record book, whether kept in a written or electronic format, of such training shall be kept, be accessible at the premises at all times, and be made immediately available for inspection at the premises to the police or authorised officers of the licensing authority or other responsible authorities on request. The training record shall include the trainee's name, the trainer's name, the signature of the trainee, and the signature of the trainer. The dates, the training, and the declaration that the training has been received. A refusal register recording book, whether kept in a written or electronic form, of refusal sales should be maintained in order to demonstrate effective operation of the Challenge 25 policy. The register will record the date, time of all attempts by persons under the age of 18 to purchase alcohol and any of other refused sales, and the name of the member of staff. The register should be made immediately available for inspection at the premises by the police, authorised officers, or the licensing authority or responsible authorities on request. Point 6. An instant recorded book should be maintained, dated in the date and time of any incidents, assaults, injuries, accidents, staff interventions or ejections. It should include the name of staff involved, the nature of the incident and the outcome. This log should be made immediately available for inspection at the premises by the police, authorised officers of the licensing authority or responsible authorities on request. I believe the conditions I propose are both clear and proportionate and would help ensure the applicant understands their responsibilities under the Licensing Act 2003. Yours faithfully, Mr. P. Mallow, Peter Malloch, Senior Regulatory Officer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members, and thank you, applicants. So I'll then go to the objections raised by Mr. and Mrs. Webley, which you'll find at pages 17 to 19 of your bundle. They're dated the 4th of October. They're addressed to the licensing section, as you would expect. They're headed Representation Opposing Premises Licence Application in respect of 7 High Street, Carmarthen, Port Talbot, SA12 9BH. And the letter begins, Dear Sir or Madam, we write to formally object to the premises licence application for 7 High Street, Carmarthen, Port Talbot, SA 12 9BH under the Licensing Act 2003. Our objection relates specifically to the sale of alcohol and its impact on the 4 statutory licensing objectives. They then deal with the 4 licensing objectives, beginning with the prevention of crime and disorder. And what their representation says is this. Although this may be a new owner the premises previously operated as a vape shop, where there were reports of vapes being sold to underage persons. This raises concerns about responsible management and compliance with licensing conditions. The sale of alcohol, even without on-site consumption, risks encouraging further antisocial behaviour and unlawful activity in an area that already suffers from such problems. A homeless man has recently set up a tent on the council-owned grass area directly outside our property and was regularly situated on the bench nearby. We are concerned that alcohol sales may exacerbate the situation and attract further disruptive behaviour. They then turn to the public safety licensing objective. And they say the premises opens directly onto a busy main street with a very narrow pavement. Increased footfall due to alcohol sales could lead to congestion and safety risks for pedestrians. Vehicles frequently park illegally on the double yellow lines to access local shops, creating hazards. Additional traffic from alcohol-related purchases could worsen this issue. Cars have previously blocked residents' driveways. If alcohol buyers leave vehicles unattended or overnight, this could obstruct emergency access and compromise safety. They then come to the prevention of public nuisance licensing objective. And they say, the application seeks to extend opening hours until 6 p.m. and to include trading on Sundays, which is consistent with previous businesses. I beg your pardon, madam, thank you. Which is inconsistent with previous businesses at the premises that typically closed around 5:30 p.m. and did not operate on Sundays. Even this modest extension, particularly the inclusion of Sunday trading, raises concerns about increased noise, disturbance, and disruption for local residents, especially in an area already affected by antisocial behaviour and parking issues. Youths already gather on the grass and benches opposite the property. Alcohol sales could encourage larger groups to congregate, increasing the risk of antisocial behaviour. Littering is a persistent issue in the area and in our garden. Alcohol sales would likely increase the presence of bottles, cans, and other waste. There have been incidents of individuals walking down private driveways to urinate due to the lack of public toilet facilities. Alcohol sales may aggravate this problem. Then we come to the final licensing objective, the protection of children from harm. And they say, the area is frequented by young people. Selling alcohol from this location increases the risk of children being exposed to alcohol-related behaviour, including disorder and intoxication. They also introduce an additional consideration relating to planning use. And they say, it is our understanding that the original planning class for this property was a full cafe use. The sale of alcohol represents a significant departure from that purpose and raises questions about the appropriateness of the current application. And then they draw their conclusions, which say, for the reasons outlined above, we believe that granting this license would undermine all 4 statutory licensing objectives under the 2003 Act. The risk of crime and disorder, public nuisance, harm to children, and threats to public safety are significant and unacceptable. We therefore respectfully request that the council refuses this application, and that's signed by Maria and Granville Webley at number 1 High Street, Carmarthen. There we are, sir. So those are the representations from both the responsible bodies and also from the objectors in their entirety, sir.
Great, thank you very much. So, any further statements, Mr. Shaw?
Is there anything you want to add?
No, there's nothing further to add, Chair. Thank you.
And the only other point that, forgive me, sir, the only other point that I would make is, if having heard that, if you have any questions to the licensing officer, the opportunity arises to ask them now, sir.
Yeah. Now that we've heard statements from all parties, we will now move on to questions. Each party will have an opportunity to ask questions of any other party, and I'll start with the Legal Regulatory Officer, Kath Cody.
Thank you, Chair. I do have a couple of questions there for Mr. Hanley, if that's okay. The first one, Mr. Hanley, I note in your application you submitted that you are applying supply between the hours of 9 AM and 6 PM. Could you just confirm why you've applied only to 6 PM for us?
Try to be brief. My original plan had been to apply for longer hours. The plan had been to use that as a basis of individual events where I might have invited people to sort of brewing sessions and such. So from my point of view, on a weekly basis, I was never intending to be open those hours. So we've condensed it, hopefully. So you read the representations. I'm going to address you as Mr. Wembley then. I reduced the hours because I thought that might help to appease them, because I'm quite happy to do anything within reason. The actual sale for me is something that I'll be there, I'll be working in the premises. It may as well be something that I can sell, and I will hopefully be selling other products aside from beer. But I'm planning to be going to festivals and events and trying to get my brand out there that way. The shop is secondary. The hours, any reasonable change to the hours, Sunday opening is not particularly important to me. I'm not going to be open 7 days a week. So those hours are, I actually just made a typo when the first police representations came back with the change of hours. I'm happy with any reasonable hours, Monday to Saturday or Monday to Sunday.
That's fine. So just to confirm then, the shop will open at 9 AM, but from 6 PM it will be entirely closed.
Well, yes, it probably would 9 AM, but I'd like to have the option there if it. I can't imagine many people will be coming in at that time, but I may be there from that time, as you say. From 6, I was actually planning to at sales or potentially still be there cleaning, or so I haven't. I can work within that if you want to put that as part of the license. It's no problem to me.
Okay, thank you. Just one further question with regards to the police and licensing officers' representations. The representations that were made to attach the conditions to the license. Just to confirm, you have agreed to that.
Yeah, that should be a
condition.
Or writing that form, but yeah, that's absolutely right.
That's fine. Thank you. And if the license is approved today, could you confirm that you will comply with those conditions immediately?
Yes. At least as soon as open.
Thank you, Zanny. That's all from me. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Great, thank you. So it's now an opportunity if the applicant has any questions to any other party.
I don't think so. Sorry, I had hoped to maybe reach out. He's not with Mr. Wembley, but they're not here. Yeah, nothing for me.
Okay. The subcommittee members. Yeah, Councillor Parks.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you both for attending. What is going to be the nature of the business?
Sorry, I'm trying to be as brief as possible. So I thought I'd be adding some colour at the start. And my ambition is to create a brewery, a very small brewery. So again, this is where the plan was always to be, I need a premises that is reasonably effectively cheap. Because my plan was to go to festivals, shows, and to potentially do events in other licensed premises. So the shop, I do also need some income to support the rent and to provide actual ability. So the shop from that sense, was going to be just a place where originally the plan had been people could come in and effectively try sample beer rather than necessarily to sell it, and the extended license now, as I wanted at first, were so that I could again sort of hold sort of smaller tasting events, things of that nature. Obviously, that's not critical to my business plan, so I've been it's not been any concern at all to change my hours, within reason. I do need to be able to sell from there, unfortunately, and I believe premises license for plans later on. But yeah, like I said, the shop itself is only part of what I plan to do. It's like I say, the brewing is going to be the main thing, and I will be selling not just my own products. Then I will be selling recognised brands, but from sort of things that are somewhat more niche, shall we say? So Belgian, German, Czech beers in particular, and obviously I have supply set up ready for a lot of Welsh beers as well. But I'm not local, obviously not too local, but my stay effectively. Well, yeah, obviously there aren't too many breweries that close. I don't think Boss is there anymore.
Thank you. May I continue, Chair?
Sorry.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay, thank you for outlining what it is you actually plan to do. Have you been involved in selling alcohol at all before?
Yes, a lot. I began working in the dinner rounds of an hour when I was around 18. I got my premises license while I was there, but was 20 odd years ago. I think I may have been DPS at one point. I was certainly on the license named. I worked there on a part-time and full-time basis for many years until it actually closed. I didn't work there when it closed, but I was still assisting. I didn't stay there and look after the dogs and premises while the owner went on holidays and things like that. So I've been involved in selling alcohol somewhere around the 18-year mark. I can't remember exactly when it closed.
That's fine. Thank you, Chair.
Great. Any further questions from the subcommittee members?
No, Chair. Suzanne asked what the question I was thinking.
Great, thank you. And then lastly, the legal advisor. Any questions?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members. Good morning, Mr. Hanley. Okay, Mike Shaw. You've heard the representations from the police and from the licensing authority, which you've confirmed today, and I think it has been confirmed already that you're happy to accept the conditions as proposed by both of those people. So really, the area that we need to look at today is the objections raised by the web police. And I heard you say that you had wanted to have the opportunity to reach out to them today, perhaps to allay some of their concerns. They've been unable to attend, but nevertheless, their representations will stand and they will need to be considered as part of this application. So given what you've heard in respect of those objections linked to the 4 objectives, is there anything that you would like to say to members where you can offer some reassurances in respect of their concerns, I wonder?
There's a few points I could make. Unfortunately, one of the representations was about a woman's person. I can't see how I could do anything reasonably about that situation, as unfortunate as it is. I think actually I did agree with them on their point about the access to the shop, which could have been a hazard if people had been inebriated. I think that's largely taken care of by the fact that hopefully there will be no consumption of alcohol, certainly on the premises or even near to it. I don't think it's going to appeal to the they mentioned adolescents, I think. I can't remember the word they used, so I could look it up.
That's
Congregating outside the store. I would hope that they're not doing that much before 6 p.m. anyway. And even if they were, I very much doubt that it's the product that those individuals will be looking for. I'm trying to think what else was on there. There was the.
I can help you in that respect because we've got 4 objectives, haven't we? We've got crime and disorder, and they were talking about the use of the premises previously as a vape shop and problems arising in respect of that. You had no connections with the premises when they were under that?
Yeah, that's one I didn't know how to address. I have no connection to that whatsoever. It mentions ownership on there, which again won't be the owner of the premises or anything. It is still the same owner. For clarity, don't know why I pointed that out. But I don't know who. I don't know the people involved at that time, so there's no connection whatsoever. Sorry, should I carry on? Do you want to?
Yes. So, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think where we were. So obviously parking. They is a difficult bit. Like again, I don't imagine there's going to be a heavy footfall to the shop. The shops are there, and I imagine it will be trading on some such premises. I can't see alcohol exacerbating that at all. There was a mention of public urination, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Again, not consuming alcohol on that premises. I don't think that's going to be concerned. There will also be a toilet available to the public within the premises. So any customers would be more than anybody would be have access to that needed it. So hopefully, I struggle to see that one as a concern myself. At least from this, obviously, if there's a problem already in the area, I know there is a pub very close to us. And I think was anything else for protection of children? Litter again. Sorry.
Sundays. We've been open on a Sunday.
Yeah,
That's one of them.
Again, if that's if that's a serious concern of theirs, not related to the other things, which I don't think necessarily affecting so much, we can take that off there if that's still available at this point. I'm not sure if we can change the hours. Because I assume we can come back with recommendations to change the license as well as just. I assume it's not as simple as yes or no. Because yeah, Sunday's not the be all and end all. Though if I could, I'd like to be able to go there because Sunday's usually the day that I group. But the sale isn't particularly important for that. Was there anything else specifically you wanted to ask?
You've addressed a lot of the issues. Public safety. You were saying about the premises, and I think we can see from the photographs, can't we, that we've got a fairly narrow pavement outside of the premises, leading to congestion and safety risks for pedestrians.
I mean, that's there now. It is pavement. There are businesses already operating in the area, including the Chinese. There'll be people there. I would have thought later on in the evening when it's already dark. So if there's little concern from them, I would, well, like I say, obviously 6 o'clock might be, or even slightly before, might be beyond daylight hours, unfortunately. But if there isn't a concern with those, I would think it's reasonably safe. There's not much I could probably add another sign to say there's an narrow pavement. Again, I don't know what else I can do there.
Yes. Your premises, when you're operating, but if the license is granted between 9 and 6, presumably would be illuminated. I'm not being facetious.
No,
in saying that.
Yes, it would be.
Okay, so thank you. The Webleys also talk about the obstruction of residents' driveways. I think they say that in the context of using other commercial premises in the area. Is there anything that you can assist members with in that respect?
Because I'm not actually 100% sure which the property is, but I think it's one directly opposite, which it does have double yellow lines enforcing directly in front of it. Parking is permitted further along, and if everybody parks for their reason, the concern I would have there would be the time when I would think their parking is going to be most concerned is there is a school in the area, and it would be pickup times around there, and I don't think there's anything with my car I could do around that. Unfortunately.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
That's just a reiterate that just again, I'm not expecting the kind of footfall that would have that many people driving parking in the area at any given time. Because again, there won't be anything now, at least, that congregates people at a specific point.
Yes, sir. And would it be right in terms of their concerns in respect to the protection of children from harm that you have agreed to the Challenge 25 policy and also the conspicuous signs within the premises saying that you're operating that scheme?
Yeah, originally, when I had planned for consumption on the premises, there would have been an in-further notice that I wasn't planning to allow any children in. I think the police actually mentioned that that was unnecessary when there's no consumption there, and I think I agree with that. But, you know, I can't imagine anyone would consider going to Tesco's with a child and purchasing alcohol would be a problem. I'd like to think.
Yes.
But yeah, like I say, it's difficult to put in adjustments or anything in place for something like can't generally see being a problem in the first place. Sorry, it's not the best answer. I know.
Thank you, sir. And they also refer to the planning use of the premises. I know my licensing colleague may come in this respect, but is there anything that you can help members with in that respect?
There's nothing that I'm aware of that stopped a cafe from selling alcohol. Whether or not what I'm doing is defined as a cafe, because I would be selling coffee, or at least providing coffee, probably selling, and selling other foods as well. It seems to fit within that to me, and I believe first the application there was a direct thing brought back on that, and I thought with the changes that were made that was no longer a thing, but please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, so thank you.
Just to confirm, Ms. Andy, with regards to planning, when we receive an application, planning is one of the responsible authorities that we liaise with within our consultation, which we have done. Have you separately heard anything back from planning in relation to your application?
There were, this is purely for fullness of correctness, there were some direct emails between them regarding the first application. And again, like I said, I thought that because my plan, I generally believe, even on the first application, that it would have fallen within the definition. There was a bit of a misunderstanding on my part. I thought it had A3, which it was specifically branded as cafe. But again, I thought that what I was doing fell within a cafe, as I would define it anyway. I did look at the Welsh Assembly Government's definition of a cafe, and I brought that up. It is cited and referenced in those emails, which I don't think I have access to at the moment. But yeah,
what did they summarise to you? What did they conclude?
Like I say, in the first instance of the application, they said under that application that it was not what they would define as a cafe, and they made it clear to me. Again, I was confused at that point. I thought it was A3, not the somewhat more specific. But yeah, that, like I said, I thought it was cleared up, so I haven't followed up on that since the second application. Again, because all the representations came back on the services where we resubmitted their representations of the police fire. Because nothing came back there. They thought we'd come to an agreement on that.
That's fair enough. Yeah. So as of yet, planning hasn't confirmed an outcome specifically on that. However, the second application that was submitted by yourself has been circulated to them.
Yes.
And I can confirm for the record that the planning would have had the 28-day consultation period to have responded within that time frame. So perhaps separately to this, that is something that you could perhaps just clarify with planning by yourself. Your own records there as consultation has been confirmed on our side been sent. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Before we move, oh, sorry, I can hear some feedback. Before we move on to summaries, can I check that there are no further submissions or any further questions from anyone present?
Yes. Yes, thank you. To the legal officer or the regulatory officer, I'm not quite sure which of you is going to answer this one. This committee today can decide on this application whether or not planning have responded. It is entirely up to the premises owner to make sure that they comply with planning law. It doesn't actually stop us.
Sorry, please clarify. You said owner, you seem to be gesturing me very much not the premises owner.
Oh, beg your pardon.
Just to be clear.
The business
So I'm the
you're the
administrator
business
rather than-
owner, yes.
Yes.
So it doesn't stop us. I just wanted to make that clear that it one does not rely on the other. We can say this would be approved or rejected, and then planning is something different.
Entirely separate.
Thank you.
Entirely
That's fine.
separate.
Thank you, Chair.
Great, thank you. Mr. Shaw, I could see you indicated.
Yes, thank you, sir. Forgive me for the grilling. It's certainly not intended that way, but in all seriousness, it's important the issues or the objections which have been raised are properly addressed. You heard the Webley's conclusion, and what they have said is that in their view, all four of the licensing objectives are offended, but to use their words, they say in a significant and unacceptable way. Is there anything that you would like to say to members in respect of that, please?
Obviously, we covered most of the individual points, point by points. I think I've covered everything. I mean, I do disagree with that statement. I personally feel that's not the case. But again, I was kind of under the impression that, I'm not trying to step on your toes. That's what you're here to decide. So, I believe you're probably better hands in mind for that. So
It won't be for me to decide, so.
sorry, that's trying to grab that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. I'll just ask again, before we move on to summaries, can I just check that everyone, and then there are no further submissions or any further questions from anyone present?
I'm awfully sorry, Chair. I just thought of another one. So sorry. I should say them all at the same time. Mr. Webley, when you...
Sorry, I'm Mr. Hanley.
Oh, I beg your pardon. So sorry.
Again, sorry.
Yes. It's fine. When you brew your beer
Yes.
and you sell it, will you be delivering it?
Not at first, or that
Okay.
is something.
So your clients will be that come in for a few bottles at a time, not so much boxes.
Well, I imagine most of my clients will be nothing to do with this premises, but yes, from the point of view of that premises, I wouldn't expect to be selling in bulk.
Right. So what I'm trying to get at is the parking issue. Just so that we explore it. They will have to park quite away from the shop premises.
There's legal parking within around about 20 metres.
Yeah, but if you're carrying, I can see on the map here. There's double lines both sides of the shop, like in the front and the back.
Yes. So this would be outside the shop, turning right from the point of view of the shop.
So there's no available parking for people to come and pick things up. They couldn't nip in the front, buy their goods, and then say, "Well, I'll come round the back and pick it up."
Oh, there's no rear entrance at all, so it'd be collected from the front. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Great, thank you. Just to check, any further questions?
No, sir. The one thing that I'm conscious of is that the applicant hasn't had the opportunity to address you in respect of his application. He's been asked questions by members and by my colleague and by myself, but he hasn't had the opportunity to address you. So that opportunity does arise now if you want to take that opportunity.
I think the question's been quite pertinent. So I think from my point of view, everything that I wanted to bring across has been brought already. I'm happy to make a small address if you feel it's necessary, but I think I'm good.
Okay, we will have an opportunity for summaries as well. So there will now be the opportunity for all parties to make a closing statement. The closing statement must not introduce any new information, nor will there be any further opportunities for questions. So, yeah, Mr. Hanley, if you'd like to start.
I think I've covered all the points. I think this should be, could potentially develop into something quite good for the area. I don't think there's anything much further I need to add. So, sorry, I don't waste any time.
That's okay. At this point, we would usually give the residents an opportunity, but they are not here today. So we'll move on to agenda item 4, which is urgent items. I have none. But the committee will now retire for deliberations. Only members, the legal officer and democratic services officer will remain. So thank you all for attending, and you'll be notified of the outcome in due course.
Sir, forgive me. I think if you were to hear finally some final words from the legal regulatory officer, if there's anything that you wanted to add.
No, there's no summaries from us under this subcommittee now.
Okay, there we are, sir. Well, you've heard all the matters now, and it is your opportunity to retire.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you for attending today.
There you go.